Rick Wilson!
Molly, what an amazing weekend we're having.
Blocking the Straits of Hormuz.
Nothing says strategic genius like turning the whole world against you.
Weren't they already blocking the Straits?
Oh no, we're blocking the straits now.
No, I know, but
we were told blocking the straits was very, very bad.
Yes, and now we're doing it.
But now we're going to block the straits. Here's the problem with this whole thing.
Yeah.
Donald Trump truly believes this is some move of like 87-dimensional quantum string theory chess.
Yeah.
When in fact, in the all-time list of dumb shit,
yeah,
land war in Asia, check, already there. Blocking the straits, which turns off the entire world economy.
Yeah.
That means everything. That means they're not making any more semiconductors in South Korea and Taiwan because we'll be cutting off the helium supply.
Ooh,
We're not shipping any energy out of the Gulf to Asia, to China. China is now like, well, I guess we'll just send some anti-aircraft systems over to Iran because they clearly need them.
Yeah,
the whole thing is just this is a string of genius moves on Donald Trump's part.
And I don't know if you read today the Wall Street Journal, which has been killing it on the reporting side because they hired everyone that Jeff Bezos fucked at the Washington Post. And so they had an incredible piece today about how the Trump administration was warned that this was going to completely fuck up the whole economy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, at every point we see, they're warned this is a bad idea.
Sure.
They decide to do it anyway because Trump gets tricked by Netanyahu or whatever.
Right, or whatever.
And then they end up being like, we didn't know. You know,
Trump who could have foreseen except for everyone?
Trump was on Maria Bartiromo's podcast. I was going to say podcast, television show this morning.
It's like a podcast, only
Fox Business.
Less professional.
Yeah, less professional, on Fox Business, where the elite meet. And he was like, they were going to have a nuke. Huh?
I thought we had obliterated the nukes, but call me crazy.
I mean,
but when she asked him, Molly, I mean, I must have played that clip 10 times today because when she says, will energy prices and gas prices be higher or lower by November in the election? He's like, I don't know. Maybe I hope so, but could be the same or it could be higher. One of my editors was like, dear God, sometimes he writes the script for us.
It's long-term pain.
For no term gain.
I mean, that, by the way, they had like this MAGA messaging thing where you saw them on all the Fox chat, being like short-term pain, long-term gain. It reminded me, you saw this Ashley St. Clair had a video this week.
Can I just say, I was impressed by her. She made a cogent argument about the MAGA influencer ecosystem and talked it through. I thought that was a concise 10-minute briefing that a lot of people sort of intuitively feel, but I thought it was actually well done.
And it's what we've heard from these other ex-influencers, the Dom, whatever his name is. Dom Luger, which is basically, if you're a MAGA influencer, just like Charlie Kirk had bot farms, these guys get paid for endorsements. They get paid for tweets.
As we learned, America's alpha male, banana-eating Gunther Eagleman.
Right.
Who has got a real name like Joe Smith, right? Gunther Eagleman's like, a retweet is $300. The price is the price.
Yeah. Gunther Eagleman, this crew is all just getting paid. And I think the secret, which Ashley St. Clair explains in a really smart way, I think, she is the baby mama of Elon Musk. What she explains is that the part of the secret of this is just lockstep messaging.
100%. Stay on message, stay on message, stay on message. And if you're confused about it, stay on message.
And this is, since you are one of the architects of some of this, I love you for it. I know you made your peace with it. I made my
penance.
Peace. Right, you've made penance, but I would love you to just like do a minute or two on like how you get from Pat Buchanan W to this. You know?
Sure. Look, the Republican Revolution that was the seed corn of the eventual Tea Party movement, which became the MAGA, started in 1991 when my old boss, George Herbert Walker Bush, to be a responsible adult, decided that he and the Senate would make a deal on a tiny marginal bullshit tax increase. It essentially was so marginal that it made very little difference in the deficit. A little bit, a meaningful but not sweeping number. But the political consequence of that was that Pat Buchanan and a group of these incredible paleo-conservative dipshits went out and ran a primary against a seated president. Was not done at the time. That did not happen back in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s.
There's
didn't
no
really
precedent.
happen.
Yeah.
So Buchanan loses, gets his ass handed to him, of course, but then Bush loses the general election. You got Ross Perot, who comes in also in that sort of space. Ross Perot was like the original AstroTurf, though. He had guys cheering for him who were just paid to cheer for him.
Yeah.
And there was no social media then, of course. So we grow through the Tea Party. Still no real social media, but there is a bit of online messaging, a bit of online organizing through early platforms. Somebody reminded me the other day that Yahoo groups used to have all these Tea Party communications channels in them. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I hadn't thought about Yahoo groups for like a decade.
Yeah.
But then that grew as social media expanded, really blew up on the scene in the 2016 race. These people are running these organizational chat groups in Twitter, in their direct messaging, on Telegram, Discord, other platforms that are not as visible, but they follow a rule that was as old as when I got into politics, which is the thing every Republican consultant learns the day you get your first campaign. 1, stay on message. 2, just win. If you're confused about rule 1, consult rule 2. Confused about rule 2, consult rule 1. Stay on message is the gospel. It is the catechism. It is the singular moment that everybody in the Republican universe believes all the time. Democrats could not stay on message if you had them like on a rail car and they were told this is the station you get off at, and you say my name is John Smith. They will fight about who they are. They will fight about everything. Oh, we're going to get off at a different station. We're going to do this differently. We're going to take a plane. Republicans get on and stay on message. The unification of that message ramifies from Fox News to Newsmax to Breitbart to OAN to all these influencers online, whether they're on Rumble or YouTube or Twitch or wherever. And the superpower they have is they don't really care what the message is. The point scoring system for them is, are they on that message?
Right.
Are they with the group? Are they in the pack? And so Donald Trump could say tomorrow that, our next target, we're going to invade the planet Venus. And they would be like, it's about time somebody invaded Venus. And they'd all say it with absolute conviction. They'd all say it with absolute belief that as long as they were the loudest voice in the room, they were going to get a pat on the head, or they were going to get monetized for that tweet, or they were going to get rewarded by somebody sending them a Venmo. And it works.
I kind of want to talk about Tucker Carlson's numbers. I don't know if you saw that article 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So Tucker Carlson is actually, and I was a little bit surprised by this, he's going through the same kind of thing that Ben Shapiro is going through, though probably for different reasons.
Well, look, there was a period right after Tucker left Fox.
His numbers are way down. The point is
right, folks, his numbers are way down. His not only in the polling, but in his ratings and in his listeners. There is a moment happening inside MAGA right now for Tucker that is surprising, because right after he left Fox, his numbers with Republicans were through the roof.
Yeah.
He was a kingmaker. He was very popular. Ratings were amazing.
Who's going to be president?
There was a real world where you could see Tucker winning a Republican presidential primary. And I'm not saying that jokingly.
No,
I mean
it's a nightmare scenario.
Sure,
Scary
incredibly.
Guy. Yeah.
But what has happened now is not a symptom of Trump, but a symptom of the MAGA base fracturing very quickly. And for some of them, Tucker is now an apostate and an enemy of Trump. Yeah. So they're going to not listen. For some of them, he's not going far enough against Trump, so they're not going to listen.
It's weird.
And I think there are some Tucker stands out there who like that flavor, but he also put himself in a box as this leader of the anti-war, anti-interventionist guy who also somehow ends up on the side of every, Orbán in the world, somehow ends up on Putin's side on everything. And there's just a sort of sense that he played out all his cards and ended up with like a pair of twos.
Yeah. It's wild. Like, you'd think that guy should not have fucked himself. Ben Shapiro.
Because, by the way, folks should remember, Tucker is not stupid.
Yeah.
He is not a
he's not
stupid
stupid.
person.
No, I mean, that's why he's so dangerous. Ben Shapiro continues to crater, but that, I think, is a marriage of pro-Zionism, anti-Semitism.
Ben Shapiro, the Mark Levin of...
Yes, the Mark Levin of YouTube. We got to go across the Atlantic.
Yeah, we do.
To a country helmed by Viktor Orbán, loved by conservatives worldwide. They sent in J.D. Vance.
The closer, J.D. Vance. I would just like to introduce Mr. Orbán to an exclusive international club.
Yes.
Everything Trump touches dies. And
everything J.D. Vance
and everything J.D. Vance touches, including the Pope, gets freaking destroyed.
Yes.
And this election was a absolute nuclear smackdown. As of the time we're recording this, Peter Magyar and the Tiza party is somewhere very close, within 1 or 2 seats in parliament, to a supermajority. I think they need 132, and they were at 130 when I saw it last. It probably will update, obviously. Orbán has conceded, which everyone is kind of shocked about, myself included.
Which is good sign, by the way. That is good.
Very good sign.
Very good.
A very good sign.
Very good, yes.
Yeah, but this is another thing. The people in the conservative movement, Steve Bannon, Matt Schlapp, J.D. Vance, Peter Thiel, who were deeply, deeply invested in Hungary, did so because they thought Orbán was the model for America. You could scale it up. He was the champion of illiberal, sort of window dressing democracy.
Yeah.
It looked like a democracy. It still had elections, but they were rigged. It still had courts, but they were all his friends. It still had private enterprise, but they were all owned by his family members. But they really saw that as the model. And think about it. If you do that scaling exercise in your mind, it is what they're trying to do in America.
Oh, no question.
And Orbán was a beloved figure in that space. And now I believe he'll be joining the Shield of America to help Kristi Noem.
That's right. Kristi Noem, by the way, underreported story in the Daily Mail, which is breaking all the news these days.
Right? Crazy.
I don't know. Is that the Kristi Noem bed jet is now going to the Princess Melania, where she will not be using that bed with her husband to discuss.
I don't think she's used a bed with her husband sometime in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I would think like right after you have a kid and your husband gets caught banging porn stars, you're like, no, I'm going to pass on that anymore, that the horizontal mambo. No, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
And I mean, that presser she did at the end of the week.
Oh.
That is a dark hole from which no logic emerges yet, except I look at it, I've been thinking about it since the day it happened.
Yeah.
I look at it now as, how do I get out of my prenup without more lawyers?
I mean, the Melania presser can be one of two things. One is she spends all day reading stuff about herself on the internet.
Yeah.
And she's like, they're coming for me. And so she thinks that if she does this, somehow it helps her.
Right.
Or the other is she really just wants to sink him.
I really want her to be that little girl in the meme who looks back at the camera and the house is burning down behind her.
I mean, that I'm telling you, I've talked to so many people this weekend who kind of know a lot of stuff, and nobody can make any sense out of it.
No, and I've talked to a lot of people too. I did pick up from somebody adjacent to that, to the Trumpiverse, that the person described it to me as it was like a nuclear bomb, not Iran-style nuclear bomb, but a nuclear bomb went off.
Like a real one.
They did not know what she was doing.
She didn't give them a heads up.
They knew she was doing something. They thought it was some sort of be best, Melania, the power of the people, the children love goodly.
Yeah.
Where is husband for shovel?
Yeah. Okay, so Orbán, J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is now the Elon Musk of elections.
Yes, he's basically the kiss of death for as Trump's electoral ambassador. But remember, Trump he was calling over there. He was tweeting about how we were going to make Hungary's economy expand and explode and be great again.
Yeah.
And Marco was on the same ticket as well. And all of them, I think it's just something good for the world that Hungary was in the hands of Orbán. Peter Magyar, the guy who won today, started out when he was a young man, had a poster of a young Viktor Orbán in his apartment.
Yeah.
Because Viktor Orbán, after the Cold War, was a pro-democratic hero
Yeah.
in Eastern Europe. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, he slipped into the corruption net that he made for himself, wanted to get rich, wanted to have
Yeah.
power. Great. It shows you that eventually, even the billionaire class in a small country, even the super powerful in a small country, even a crooked court system in a small country like that cannot sustain. And I
Yeah.
think it's even harder to sustain over time in America. At least I hope so. But folks, the right wing movement around the world put in a full court press on this. They had a lot
Yeah.
of American consultants over there who are Trump consultants.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of them. They've not been talking much today, which is kind of fascinating because normally they're a bunch of big mouths. But yeah, it's a good day.
It's a good day for democracy. A day that Viktor Orbán loses is a good day for democracy.
Absolutely.
And a day that JD Vance, I mean, that's the other thing about JD Vance. And I want to talk about this for a minute because I feel like people are always, there are a bunch of doomers on the internet who are like, they're just trying to put in JD Vance for Trump. And I'm like, you guys, that dog don't
Or
hunt.
don't hunt. Even if Peter Thiel put it all in, shoved everything in the kitty into the middle of the table for JD Vance, there's a reason why Trump sent him to do the two shittiest jobs in government. First, negotiating with the Iranians with nothing to negotiate. And
Right.
second, trying to get Viktor Orban, a dictator, reelected, while he goes with Marco, who looked absolutely like whacked out of his mind at that event last night.
It's the big shoes.
The UFC, it may be the big shoes.
Yeah.
The UFC event where, we're in the middle of a very consequential war, and Trump has, let's put it this way. Yesterday he was golfing, then last night he was at UFC, and today he's golfing. So we're in great hands with JD right now.
It is amazing to me, like that Donald Trump, he can look at his numbers, which are, I don't know, is he the lowest
No.
he's ever been?
He's the lowest he's ever been. Yep.
Yeah.
Cataclysmically low.
Right. He can look at his numbers and be like, W, who again, I disagree with on a lot of stuff and who has been very quiet when we could use him saying stuff. I know. You
Longer
tried.
story, another
But,
day. Yeah.
But that he did not golf during Gulf War.
Nope.
He made a real point not to golf
Correct.
because of partially because the optics. So
Yeah.
like these are optics. You're at a UFC fight. You're not going to make Joe Rogan love you. I mean, maybe he can, but Joe Rogan is, again. So at this UFC fight, there was a moment where he saw all of his MAGA influencers. He saw Joe Rogan. He
Yep.
saw that horrible Guy Fieri with the stupid hair. He saw
What was that about? I didn't even know he was MAGA.
Guy Fieri like making out with Andrew Tate. Okay, I didn't have enough reasons to not like you, but now I do.
Yeah.
And you saw all those guys discuss.
Donald Trump is now the guy who was the high school quarterback 5 years ago. And he graduated and he went to community college for a year. Then he dropped out. Now he works at a gas station. But every Friday night, he still takes that Corvette or that Trans Am and he circles the parking lot. Like, that was my place, man. I loved it. That was when I was at my peak. And Trump feels like this could not be a more friendly audience for him. But I think that too has come to a sort of diminishing returns point and then some.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And if you're Donald Trump, you really want to be hanging out with Andrew Tate, a child sex trafficker.
Unbelievably bad. Rick Wilson.
As always, my friend.